I have to say pretty much yeah. But I really admire the swallows.
Oh yeah,
That's some chill
yeah.
hop.
you like that?
It is.
I like that.
I love it.
Chill hop. I like that too.
Yeah, when I would ride into Boston on the commuter rail early in the morning, I would put that on and fall asleep on the commuter rail, and it was fucking divine.
Oh, that's an actual genre of music. Chill hop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
There's like
you,
trip
you
hop,
were aware
chill
of this
hop.
too.
Oh yeah, chill hop's awesome.
Yeah.
He's the only one who didn't know.
It's that.
Is it? So it's just like you could probably find a YouTube video that's a lot of like it's like
if you-
lo-fi.
if you- yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
If
cool.
you just type in like chill hop music, no
Lo-fi.
lyric or no vocals, it's fucking awesome.
That's one cool thing that's come out of those long form YouTube videos with I'm assuming a lot of it's probably AI, but people make those lo-fi mixes and there's
great.
all these like different subsets of music like vaporwave. Have you ever gotten
love
into that at all?
vaporwave.
Yep.
Vaporwave is very like 80s synthy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like 80s synthy stuff.
I do too. I dig it.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, how are you? How are things been? Anything to catch up on? What's new in your lives?
No, I'm good. Nothing to report. What about you, Jesse?
Draft of my screenplay,
Hell yeah.
Oh, here we go. Part 2.
part 2.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Easter. Did Easter.
Oh,
How was that?
Easter, yeah.
A lot of ham.
A lot of ham.
You had a lot of ham?
Oh yeah, my mom makes a good ham.
Your mother makes an excellent ham.
Yeah.
Corned beef and hash was or corned beef and cabbage is what we had.
That's what you. Are you sure that wasn't your St. Patrick's Day?
Nope, positive because
Okay.
because Lauren makes shepherd's pie every year for St. Patrick's Day, so I'm deprived of corned beef and cabbage.
Okay.
I'm
You're
a very
deprived.
very sad man.
Yeah.
So her mother was kind enough to make us corned beef and cabbage.
Oh,
which
that's
is nice.
lovely.
Lauren
That is
hates
very nice.
cabbage. But
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, she doesn't like cabbage.
But does she like it in that dish, or is it in general she doesn't?
She's
like
like, it's fine with the corned beef. We had some Portuguese sweet rolls too.
Oh, you
'Cause Chad was there?
Yeah,
it?
those are
Samasa?
good.
Yep. It's funny. Chad's my brother, but he has Portuguese heritage. So every year he comes over. You know, Rita wants to do something that's Portuguese adjacent.
Really?
Or like
That's
have
really
a
funny.
Yeah, have like a Portuguese dish. So she does like a Portuguese meat stuffing for Thanksgiving.
They have really
Yep.
good meats.
Yeah,
My mom
yeah.
did that this year for Easter.
It's
from,
solid.
From
Have you
my
ever
family,
had-
yeah.
Linguiça sandwiches. It's not longanisa. A lot of people think longanisa, but linguiça sandwiches are Portuguese, almost very much like pigs in a blanket.
What is longanisa?
Longanisa is kind of a South American sausage, similar to chorizo.
Oh,
So longanisa is like chorizo.
Oh, I didn't know that existed.
Linguiça sandwiches are they're almost it's almost like pepperoni pigs in a blanket.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's very good because you have like buttery roll and then you have like the kind of spiced cured meat. It's
Is it
very
a
good.
crispier roll?
It's soft.
Does it
it's
flake?
close. It's closer to like crescent rolls, like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get down with that.
So picture like pepperoni stuffed between crescent rolls.
I mean, that's
Buttery.
pretty much a calzone.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
Oh
very
my
s-
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very good.
I didn't know we were going to open with smut, but
It's quite good. It's
Should
quite
have
good.
known.
My buddy's mom. Shout out to Dylan's mom. Ends
Shout
up-
out Dylan's
yeah,
mom.
She makes
You know who you are.
incredible linguiça
I know who you are, too.
sandwiches. And it's like the C has like one of those little squigglies below it if you're typing it in.
now are you sure that longanisa is not just a mispronunciation?
No, they
of
are
linguiça?
two. I'm 100%
You're
positive.
sure? Okay. I'm taking your word for
Longanisa
it.
is sausage, and then linguiça sandwiches are a whole different like style.
But linguiça has the little thing under it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Linguiça is like more of a cured
Yes.
meat, a pork.
I don't know what makes linguiça, but I am certain longanisa.
I think linguiça is just chorizo.
I believe it.
I think it's just
so,
chorizo,
right?
but it's in a link form.
Yeah.
Because there's ground chorizo, and then there's
Because when you
which is
slice
just a
it
Portuguese
tastes
version
just
of
like,
chorizo.
There you go.
Yeah.
which is pig, right?
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
pork?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's so weird. So for us, I feel like it's kind of like obvious, but anyone who's not native to
Like
a big Portuguese population, like we have one of the largest Portuguese
They wouldn't know.
populations, maybe in the United States. If
Oh,
not
definitely.
The continental U.S.
Actually,
yeah.
wow, I'm
Fall
going to
River,
a
yeah.
wedding
Fall
in
River.
Brazil. Dylan's wedding, and
Who is this Dylan you keep mentioning?
he's actually. You've met Dylan.
I've
He
only-
came to Dead Mouse. You both met Dylan.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
I forget which one he was.
Dylan.
But
Is he a DJ?
No, that's Adam.
Adam. I like
so it's
Adam.
the other one.
I do not recollect. I'm sorry.
It
My
was,
apologies.
it was literally his birthday
Alright.
that we were all celebrating Dead Mouse for.
I don't remember any of this. I'm sure
Did
he's
he have
very
blonde
nice.
hair?
Very nice gentleman.
He has short hair, kind of blonde hair. I mean, more blonde than brown.
I think I'm making somebody up in my mind. I
Describe
have no
him.
idea.
How would you describe him?
He's
Oh.
Dylan.
Yeah, see, so this is why I don't remember.
He's a bit stocky,
Dylan.
short hair, usually a beard.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did he fly in from somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
He came up from
I know
Georgia.
what
Was he
you're
dressed
talking
in
about.
like khakis or something? He kind of has like a corporate job,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. You know him from, you grew up with him? Or?
Yeah.
I remember Dylan now.
Yeah.
100% remember Dylan.
And he's getting married.
Dylan.
Yeah. Now I remember exactly.
I
who
know.
He is.
I remember Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan loved me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, you want to be best friends.
Yeah, we're not
I
gonna-
don't remember if there was a chemical component to why there was so much love that
There
night.
was.
But,
There was. We'll keep that out.
Yeah, we'll keep that on the wraps.
But now I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's exactly
So
right.
wait, he's marrying a Brazilian woman?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's Portuguese. He's half
Oh,
Portuguese.
okay.
His
Oh,
mom
okay.
is the one. So he's marrying a Brazilian woman. We're going down to Brazil. They've
Two different cultures. Two very different cultures.
Yeah, but
Just so you
Fair.
know.
fair. But he speaks Portuguese.
Really?
Yes, his mother does.
Dylan, now that I remember who you are, I hope you are well and relatively safe.
And well endowed.
And congratulations on your engagement.
Yeah, they've been engaged for a while, and they're finally getting. I'm his best man. I'm gonna be his best man.
Wait, so you're going where? Where are you
To
flying
Brazil.
Oh, you're going to Brazil?
Oh,
Yeah,
my
I'm
God.
going
Oh,
to
okay.
Brazil
Oh,
in
you're
October.
not going to
Bro,
make
where-
it back.
Oh, I'm gonna make it back.
Where? Do you know which part? Sao Paulo?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he told me. I don't remember.
Okay, not off to a good start. Well, I wish you just
I don't know where I'm going.
let me know. Are
you sure you're
when
going in a
leaving,
plane?
When you
Yeah.
expect to be back? You know, so I can send out help if necessary.
You got to talk to the Sinaloa cartel and
I can talk to just about anybody. I can charm the
He said
pants
you're
off
not
them.
coming back.
Kidding me? You see this fucking brown sweater shirt?
it's like he's a VIP. We need to get him back.
Gotta get him back.
Gotta get him back.
I'll go in myself, secure the ass, and get
Very
the fuck out of
important
there.
podcaster.
Secure the
VIP.
asset.
I mean, what country aren't we invading at this point?
We may as well. Be.
Just silent on that one. Ugh. Ugh.
All right, gentlemen. Well, let's get on to some to part 3. Let's get on to part 3 of
Yeah,
William Marshal. You guys ready?
Might have to say pretty much yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. William Marshal, 1st Earl of Pembroke, the greatest knight to ever live, part 3. Our source for today is The Greatest Knight by Thomas Asbridge, as before. So last time on Pretty Much Yeah, we left off with Henry the Young King, son of Henry II, being brought under the tutelage of William Marshal. Do you guys remember this?
Yes.
They were just about
Elaborate
to
on tutelage.
tutelage. He's
taught
tutoring.
Him. He taught
Oh,
him.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes. So they were just about to set out on the tournament circuit. You remember
Yes,
this? Okay,
yes,
so this is
yes,
ringing a
yes.
bell.
Yep,
Coming
yep,
back to
yep.
you. Fantastic.
And his horse, one of the horses got lost on his first tournament. Yeah.
yeah. You're sort of like recollecting sort of disparate parts and piecing them together.
I was gonna say that was the beginning of the
It's fine.
story.
It's
Once we pick up momentum, all of it will come back in full swing. I've been in. Well, I don't want to spoil, but I've been researching for the following episode, so it's been kind of like
right.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
juxtaposing
I understand.
Right.
the William Marshal and the
Yes.
later to be named.
Well,
So-
I
companion
look
piece.
forward to the massive stroke that's likely to happen when all the information comes flooding back to your brain at once. So we are in 1176 AD, gentlemen.
Okay.
The young King Henry and William Marshal, the two set out to tour the tournament circuit. The young
Alliterative.
yeah, I didn't realize that. The young would-be king was dissatisfied at not having a kingdom of his own yet. He was also frustrated at his father's constant meddling in his affairs. So at this time, the king did acquiesce to Henry's desire to go and tour the tournament circuit, but he was also sending people to spy on the young king to make sure that he was acting in accordance with, courtly manners and he was representing the kingdom. Now, remember, Henry II, worthy of note, did ban tournaments in England. I don't know if you remember, we talked about that last time, right?
Yeah.
So
So it couldn't be actually in London and whatnot.
It couldn't be in England at all,
it was-
including London and
That's-
whatnot.
What was the reason?
That's why he went to Paris, and he was and the Queen. I remember all this.
See this? And now he's going
But
to start bleeding from the nose.
The reason for that was why? Because it was too much of a disturbance with the people. Is that
That's
what he
correct.
said? Yeah. Okay.
There's a disturbance to the peace.
It's all coming back to me too.
Disturbing the peace, a la Ludacris.
TTP.
Great
he
album.
saved the Queen. Oh, and that's why she got him out from
Right.
the
So we're not going to do this live, right? These are going to be inside thoughts for a little while, okay? Anywho, so
Go
yeah,
ahead. May as well restart at this point.
no, I mean I liked all that. That was great. I'm gonna keep it.
I'm with it.
To Henry, the tournaments offered a way to achieve a degree of renown while he was stuck in this limbo. Right, he didn't have a kingdom of his own. He's sort of rearing to go. He's a young 20-something-year-old, and he needs to basically make his own way, despite being a prince. And at this point, it's important to note that Henry the Young King had, in fact, filled in for his father as temporary regent, while Henry II was sick at one point. So he was sort of a half king. That's why we refer to him as Henry the Young King.
Okay.
So there's Henry II, which is the father. He's the current king. And then there's Henry the Young King, who is under William's tutelage. Okay. So for William, this was a second chance to get away from the royal court for a while and basically beat the piss out of someone. He was a little bit bored with the courtly, existence. He's training this kid.
He was ready to rumble.
Yeah, exactly. So he could attain a little bit of glory on his own while making some coin, right? Which never hurt.
He just has to remember to loot after any kill.
He does have to remember to, gain his spoils from the last battle.
There's rookie mistakes.
That's correct. And he did do quite well in the tournament circuit once he realized that. At this point, he had a little bit more experience. However, the first 8 months of the tournament circuit did not go well for William and the young king. It actually consisted of quite a bit of humiliation and defeat, and this is well chronicled. They were comically bad.
Wow.
Really?
Yes. So it was said that the young king's retinue were routinely, quote, captured and ill-treated.
No kidding.
I'm kind of amazed. I feel like there's not many opportunities to fail in that age. I feel like if you fail like 2 or 3 times, you're dead usually.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
I'm kind of amazed.
Like
that
a fatal mistake type of a thing?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm kind of amazed that he could go months of being like notoriously bad and still surviving.
Right, like a mistake in general had a lot of gravity and weight to it. Never mind one in battle.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah,
Exactly.
That's
It's
a very good point.
How do you fit? Yeah.
I just picture it like they're just getting batted around. Like the other knights are bashing their heads together.
absolutely.
They're smacking them.
It's like
They're spanking
comical,
them.
yeah.
Wasn't there one time he had to run away with his helmet backwards? It's just that
Yes,
every
that
time.
happened last time. Yep.
That's correct. Yeah.
So more shenanigans like that. My helmet.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't good at first. Supposedly their defeats came so frequently that the opposing knights would discuss how to divvy up the loot the evening before the actual match.
That's fucking
How did he
hilarious.
have that much loot to give away? Again.
So his father, the king, is bankrolling this entire thing. Okay,
Because he's a prince.
he's a prince. Yeah, so he has
And
some
also,
royalty
but
and
doesn't
prestige.
that grant him that they're not going to kill him, right?
So
They're just going to beat him.
it's important to note. So
Yes. So that's probably how they were.
Henry would have also been protected by his retinue, right? So
Right.
he's the first priority. So he's not going to get bruised up too bad.
Right.
They're definitely not going to kill him, but they will capture him and ransom him. You know
Of course.
what I mean?
Well, yeah, of course. He's the prince.
Yeah.
How much can we get for this little fucker?
They're like all hanging out in the tent, drinking, and they're
Now,
like,
who we're facing tomorrow, the half fucking prince. They go, oh, get ready for, a sack full of gold.
Picturing like the White Sox of the, it's a baseball reference. It's not going to fly. No,
in my head, it might land with someone up there.
it's not going to fly. Was that intentional?
Ooh.
no, it wasn't. See, you got to look up, man.
Oh, sorry.
Don't
Next time.
forget that.
So Marshal's men were, as we discussed, well furnished with arms and equipment, and individually they were pretty strong, but they were undisciplined as a team. That was the problem, right? William was a notable offender, once abandoning the Lord, the young Henry, in order to chase down a group of enemies. So he kind of lost himself a couple times, and he
God
was like,
damn it! There he goes again. You're supposed to protect him.
That's exactly right. He's like, get back here, you bastards! And then the king was like, but what of me? William! Oh, sorry.
I'm just
Got
picturing
carried
every
away.
single time they're like, all right, you'll run away. He'll chase you. We'll go in and grab him. We'll get the loot.
They
we'll
had
do
it
it
figured
again.
out.
Every time.
Every time, yeah.
They gained reputation. They knew what they were going to do.
That's exactly right, yeah. So I guess the other team had their playbook. So I'm going to read a little excerpt from the book. Over time, the team improved. Marshal learnt to curb his headstrong enthusiasm, and the history subsequently made constant reference to the fact that he always remained, quote, close by the king, protecting him with blows that were, quote, exceedingly mighty and dangerous.
Ooh.
Henry's knights gradually honed their skills, and with more experience, they began working together as a compact and coherent body of horsemen. Recognizing, as the biographer put it, that a man who breaks ranks too early is a fool, the young king and his household were also mentored by Henry's old ally, Philip of Flanders, by now an established patron of the tournament circuit and an acclaimed participant to boot. Philip was something of a scoundrel, though. Ruthless, unprincipled, and unswervingly ambitious, he had hitched his wagon to the young king's cause when he saw an advantage. But he was an unreliable ally. The history of William Marshal did its best to paint him in a heroic light as a worthy man who in wisdom surpassed all contemporaries, but remarkably, it was also quite candid and accepting of his devious conduct on the tournament field. Now, I'm going to tell you something about Philip of Flanders. He had a pretty fun tactic that he would deploy, which is straight up just maniacal, devious son of a bitch. So he would go to the lists to say, like, I'm going to sign up for this joust or tournament, right? Mm-hmm. And then the day of, he would say, actually, never mind. We're going to spectate instead. And he'd have all of his knights like suited up, ready to go. And he'd be like, actually, we're just going to hang out. And then once the battle commenced, Philip and his men would rush in after
They'd blitz him.
After everyone had already been worn out from the initial rush.
What a piece of shit.
So there was the initial charge, and then he'd go, actually, on second thought, I'm coming in, and then he'd throw on his helmet, charge.
How can you even do that, though?
Right. So
Well, if his name was in the running ahead of time, and then they were just like,
today we would consider that to be
Cheating.
obvious cheating, but it was rewarded as sort of a
strategic
maneuver.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
because in battle that is an actual tactic.
You got to be smarter than the enemy.
Right,
In boxing, it's a tactic to let them wear themselves out by
Well, yeah,
trying
you
to
act,
hit
you
and then
of course.
come in and kill, take them out. That's what Muhammad Ali used to do.
They'd have the initial charge, and then once the enemy was worn down, they'd say, "All right, rush in with the reserve force." The renewed force that fought with more vigor would take out the enemy.
Just fucking destroy all of them. Just come.
They're listening to us.
Air Portugal.
Portugal ad.
That was an ad for Air Portugal.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Very strange. So,
Have you ever seen an ad for Air Portugal
Never.
before? That's weird. That's weird.
These TVs, smart TVs, have microphones in them.
Yeah.
And not to sound like a crazy person, but the government can listen to it.
That's wild.
Like the CIA can.
Absolutely,
Of course.
believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to have a company be able to have access to equipment and not write in. Oh, we can also.
Oh, you think every one of these tech companies isn't handing over all of our personal information to the government?
Hey,
Give me a
anything
fucking
that's
break.
free, you're the product.
That's right. Good point. Well made.
Wow.
That was deep. Anyways, so think about that, everyone at home. Dylan, he's talking to you. By 1177, young Henry and Marshal's crew, Jesus Christ with the ice again. By 1177 AD, young Henry and Marshal's crew were the Rough Riders of medieval Europe. Okay, so they had come quite a long way. They, in fact, used Philip of Flanders' technique almost every single battle.
Wow.
Going forward. Yeah, they weren't fucking around. They knew that there was a huge advantage to be had there. They took advantage of it, and they enjoyed widespread recognition and the spoils of battle. Henry had grown into a tall, handsome 23-year-old man after 7 years of tutelage under William Marshal at this point. This time, touring the circuit with Henry would prove to have a transformative effect on William's career. In reality, Marshal had been little known back in 1176, except for within a few select social circles. However, William Marshal's success on the tournament circuit would bring him international fame and substantial wealth, all while forging a close bond with young Henry. Marshal was 30.
How many years his senior was he? 7?
So Marshal was 30 at this point, and the kid was 23. So he's 7 years his senior.
There we go. So
Yep.
I was.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
Yep, Marshall's 30 years old at this point, and he's in prime physical condition. During this 5-year period, William claimed to have bested no
30
less.
is prime physical condition. That's great. I didn't
For
realize
you
we
it
were
is,
in our
yeah.
prime.
We are. Yeah, you didn't know that.
I thought it
Well,
was like 5
some of
years
us more than others.
ago. Oh, I'm in my prime, man.
Yeah, don't let
I
it go
could
to
have
your
told
head.
you that.
Don't let it go to your head.
It's already there.
Okay. Fair enough. I wish you the best of luck going forward.
I don't need luck. John C.
Oh my God! Wow.
Nate asked him recently if he thought he would make it till 40.
What was the context of that?
He left his
I
phone
left
on
my
his mom's
phone
car.
On my mom's car
because he had so
drove
much
down
food.
the Mass Pike.
All right, tell this story. Real
Okay,
quick.
this story is hysterical. So my mom gave me so much food. It was Easter. She was giving me a ride to
Yeah,
work.
that was my first question.
Yeah,
Why did
me
she give you
too.
so much food to,
To
go,
go
to
to
work?
work.
So much that you had to carry it in and put your phone down.
So there's a refrigerator at work. It was for several days of work.
Oh, okay. So you just
saw
keep
how
your
much
food there?
ham I brought tonight.
He brought so much ham.
Oh,
That
so
was
instead
from
of
that.
bringing the food home, you brought it into work and put it in the fridge.
Well, I was gonna bring it home when I left work.
Okay.
Oh,
sure,
so
sure,
you went
sure.
from your mother's to work. And you're gonna
Gotcha.
My
go
mom
home.
gave me a ride to work.
I see.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
So my mom's bringing me into work.
With the fucking Easter ham.
Yeah.
Have a good day, son.
Yes. And she's lovely like that. She gives me good food.
She's a sweetheart.
And she brings me in. Hadn't seen her in a few days, since Easter, and she knew there was leftovers, so I wanted to have mom's cooking. I grabbed the stuff from the back. I realized that's gonna be more than just like one handful, so I put my phone up because I had my phone in the hand there.
Mhm.
I'm saying goodbye. I'm grabbing all my stuff. It's first thing in the morning. Close the door. Phone's still on the thing. I don't think of it. I go into the shop. I start vacuuming the shop. She drives away. She's heading back. This is Worcester. She's heading back towards Southbridge where she lives. And I need
yourself.
my phone to sign into the work computer. It's a passkey. I hate those fucking passkeys. Anyways, I'm like, where the hell's my phone? I'm like, oh, maybe I left it at Mel's place. I'm like, no, the alarm went off while I was in the car with mom, so I know that for a fact it was in that car. So I call my mom's phone number from the work phone, and as I'm on the phone calling her, I realize it wasn't inside the car. I put it on the roof of the car. So I let Joe know, and I'm like, hey, you need to let me into the computer because I don't have my phone. Also, it may be on the streets of Worcester somewhere, or... Finally, after like 10 minutes of me trying to call her, the shop's now open. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to live and let live. We'll see how the day goes. I get a call back 15 minutes later. I see on the work phone, Joe's phone, it's a landline. It says, Karen Hernandez. I'm like, oh, that's my mom. So I pick it up and she's like, you're never going to believe this. I was like, you found my phone? And she's like, yeah, I'm in Sturbridge. I just rode on the Mass Pike. Your phone stayed on the roof the entire time.
I don't understand how that
That's insane.
happened.
Do you have a magnetic case?
I do, but it was actually screen side down, not even case.
How is that
So
possible?
it was
I have
screen side
no
down.
So either your mom must drive very slow.
No. She
No?
hits at least 80.
What?
Yeah.
So your phone is much like you in that it's just preternaturally lucky.
Yes.
In every way.
Yeah.
I guess so.
That's crazy.
An extension of my luck.
And then what did I say in response to that story?
Yeah, it'll be a miracle if he makes it to 40.
I believe
To
I
which-
phrased it as a question.
Yeah,
Do
you
think
said,
you'll make it.
do you think you'll make it to
Oh,
40?
yeah. That's it. Do you think you'll make it 40? I think I will on sheer luck and ingenuity.
I agree.
Grit and determination.
yeah.
Well, thank you for regaling us with that brilliant tale.
Of course. I'll always tell a tale.
So back to William Marshall. During this 5-year period, William claimed to have bested no less than 500 knights.
Holy shit.
There are, holy shit. Yeah, shit. There are, in fact, over 2,300 lines dedicated to Marshall's tournament exploits in the history of William Marshall, his biography.
Wow.
What was that?
There was over 2,300 lines
Lines?
about his lines written
Lines of
Oh.
about
Right.
his
Of writing.
spoils.
So it's just like, what unit of measurement was there are 230 lines.
rubbing it on his
2,000?
2,300 lines. Well, I don't see where the confusion is coming from.
like, do we not count pages? Do we not say like?
No, it's just another way to.
It was just I had not heard.
There
I had not heard
are
that.
hundreds of lines on a single page. It would
Okay.
have much less of an impact if you were to count the amount of pages as opposed to the amount of lines.
I've never been like, okay, this section of the guy's life, 3,000 lines
It's a pretty common thing that comes up, I would say,
wow.
within
within biography
just
units of measurement.
research.
2,300 lines written about
writings.
of his battles. Continue.
Sure. Yeah, no, thank you. Jesus Christ. I hope that our fucking stenographer doesn't dedicate too many lines to that conversation. Fuck's sakes. It's at least 6. He would look back on this time as the most joyous period of his life. William would. I'm going to read an excerpt. It's going to be quite a few lines, so brace yourself.
I'll bear with you.
The history painted a vivid picture of the exuberant joy shared by William and the young king at their daring exploits, evoking an unmistakable sense of unfettered bravura and camaraderie.
Why don't you try that again?
Completely interrupts.
I'm going to need you
How do we try the fucking
to
shit again?
shut the fuck up, Jesse.
I'm gonna need that line again. Actually, Nate.
Like he's directing a fucking movie. Watch me try that again. Watch me try that again. Unfucking real, you know? I'm going to go to the deli counter at my local supermarket and be like, can you cut me half a pound of turkey? And then every slice I'm going, why don't you try that again? Let's go ahead and try that again. Dinner? Let's try that again. Let's go ahead and try that again. I'm going to go to a play of Hamlet and be like, actually, why don't you try that again? To be or not to be. Should have more of a flow at the end. Why don't you go ahead and try that again?
Hurts.
I got hung up on the word bravura, which I've never heard of. Bravura?
Yeah. I don't know what that.
No,
say yeah like you know.
No, you don't know what
bravura.
Shut
Yeah,
the
like
fuck
bravo,
up.
like they're bravura. Like they're very boastful. They're bravura. Like ooh, like they're cocky almost. But
He's just making sounds.
no,
He's not.
it's onomatopoeia.
Yeah, bravura. They're like, he's like a Portuguese man trying to explain what a vibration is.
Are you trying to say bravado?
Oh fuck.
That's absolutely 100% the word you were thinking of, wasn't it?
That is.
Yeah. So,
To be fair, I think they're synonyms.
yeah, you evoked with.
With much bravado. That is
I'm going
100%
to use the word
the word.
bravado interchangeably.
Yeah. Did you write this? Didn't you write this?
This part is
He
an excerpt
just
from
is
the book.
quoting it.
It's fair.
Yes, I did specify that.
I'm gonna need that again. More. I want more vibrato.
More bravado on the bravura.
Yes, bravura. Of course, I've heard that a million times.
It's
It means
it's a place in Italy, I believe. Bravura means whale's testicle.
I understand
Spanish
that
for
reference.
whale's vagina. San Diego. Anyways, so the history, this is me trying again. The history painted a vivid picture of the exuberant joy shared by William and the young king at their daring exploits, evoking an unmistakable sense of unfettered bravado and camaraderie. This was never clearer than at a grand and excellent tournament held at the Norman-French border between Annette and Sochel. Henry's retinue performed well in early stages of this event, timing their charge to perfection so that they drove through the French ranks. With their opponents in full flight, most of the young king's household set off in pursuit, but Marshal remained at the lord's side, so he learned his lesson here. Together, they rode downhill until they came out clean in the middle of the main avenue in Annette. The town seemed deserted until they turned a corner and were suddenly confronted by the sight of the mounted French warrior, Simon of Neufle.
Ooh.
Neufle.
Anytime someone's got an of, I know that they're a historical figure.
Yes, very highbrow stuff here. So they came across this French warrior, Simon. He was blocking the way ahead with a well-armed party of infantrymen. The history says that, quote, the king said, "We shall not get through, and yet there is no question of going back." The marshal replied word for word, "So help me God, there's nothing for it but to charge them."
Damn.
There's nothing what but to charge them?
There's nothing for it but to charge them. It's just like old-timey talk.
Yeah.
Pretty much like we're gonna fucking break through them. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to go right through.
Yeah.
I bet it hit very well.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, I do not speak English. French guy. Fucking dickhead.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I do not understand what you're saying. We have been together for 7 years. I do still not understand a fucking word what you're saying. I love when you talk to me in French, you beautiful bastard. Give me a kiss, you son of a bitch.
Make sure it's French
Remember when
too.
Robert Pattinson put on a French accent to be the
Very
French.
strange.
Yeah.
Very
That
strange
was
fellow.
odd. That was an
Welcome.
odd thing.
Welcome, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, exactly. That just kind of dawned on me. Yeah,
Your
he's not
name,
French.
Timothy. Your name is as
They literally
fucking
had
long
a
as the day.
French kid
I know.
play the English king and an English guy play the French king.
What a subversion of expectations.
What do you know? It's called acting, Jesse. They do it.
They do. They do. Continue.
Thank you. So hammering headlong down the street, the throng of foot soldiers scattered before them, all desperately trying to avoid being trampled to death. A way through opened up, but William was not content merely to make a getaway. He wanted booty.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
So he went after Simon to get that booty. He deftly snatched at his horse's bridle and, holding on with all his might, began dragging his opponent along behind him as Henry followed.
Oh, wow.
This was one of Marshal's favorite techniques. He liked doing this a lot.
Like dragging through with the horse. Like
He
that?
grabbed the horse's bridle and he was dragging him along, riding while controlling the horse. So he was basically making this guy look like an actual bitch. And he did that all the time.
Doesn't that kill you?
What do you mean?
Like when you're getting dragged by a horse?
No, he's
So the man is riding the horse, but he's just being
Yes.
controlled
He doesn't have control.
by.
Yeah.
that's
Let
pretty
go,
good.
let go, you
That's
bastard.
good.
Yeah,
That's good.
Exactly. No, he wasn't dragging the man behind
Yeah,
him.
it's like,
That'd
Jesus,
be hilarious.
That's quite brutal.
Oh.
Dum
He would be
bumpity,
dead
oh,
if that's the case.
Yes, absolutely would be
Yeah.
dead. So this was one of Marshal's favorite techniques, and it earned him plenty of captures back in the 1160s. And so he rides off with
Back in the 1160s.
Yeah, you
everyone
know.
remembers that decade.
back in the 60s. It was a real swinging time.
back in the 1160s.
I'll tell you, flower power in the 1160s. But Simon was he had other ideas. He didn't want to be taken in, obviously, right? He didn't want to be made to look like a little pansy. So as they raced back through town, William is not paying attention to what's behind him. He's focused on the road. The French knight leapt out of his saddle and grabbed onto an overhanging gutter.
No kidding.
Yep. So he was plucked
It's like
from
Pirates
his
of the
mouth.
Caribbean.
Basically, yeah, it was like a Jack
Yeah.
Sparrow maneuver, a little sneaky getaway.
Yeah.
So Marshall's riding back, and he doesn't know that this has happened.
Right.
Meanwhile, the young King Henry is riding behind him and sees the guy make his getaway, and so he's the whole way back. He's like, "Should I tell him?" And then he thinks, "No, this is actually pretty funny." So they get all the way back, and William goes to his squire. Take this knight into custody.
It's a horse.
The Invisible Knight.
The squire goes, "What knight, sire?" And then revealed Simon's splendid trick. The history presented this as a comical moment. Marshal burst out laughing as both men savored the joke, and the tale was heartily retold for weeks to come.
That's really funny.
That's pretty good. I'm
Yes.
glad that they actually, like, they genuinely had a laugh about it. That's
yeah,
good. That's
yeah.
good.
I mean, yeah, exactly. They have nothing to prove at this point. It's just like they're having fun. They're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're buds. So in the late 1170s, William would attend several tournaments on his own as a way to further acquire experience and test his skills. So he was allowed by Henry to go off and do his own thing for a little while too.
Went solo.
Went solo for a bit because he was like, well, it's all good and well being part of a team, but I just kind of want to go do my own thing.
The team that didn't form well as a team. It's all good being part of a team.
Yeah. So well, eventually they got there though, right?
Yeah,
you know,
that's fair.
But so he went off to do his own thing and further acquire and test his skills. So at this point, he was already a formidable horseman. He was a great fighter. He could wield a sword and a lance. And I think, you know, reading about this man's life actually really put into perspective for me sort of some of the modern day reticence to like put yourself out there and
Right.
go and gain skills through experience. I think that there's a lot of people who are
Apprehensive.
not just apprehensive, but they maybe give up a little bit before they've put in the work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
It seems like there's a tendency to kind of
If you fail at first,
yeah,
yeah.
and sort of like expect the world to give you something.
Right.
But this guy was living in the 12th century. He's getting bashed up every day.
Oh, yeah.
And even though he was quite competent and great at what he did, he was this very skilled warrior. He still went out on his own to even further hone his skills.
Right.
So that's a level of dedication and to physicality, to combat, to honing your skills that you don't really see these days.
Above and beyond.
Yeah, it's incredible. It really is impressive, and I think that if I could even have a shred of his
Right.
grit and resilience,
Or
then I
any
think
of
a lot
us,
of us would be able to maybe make some of those dreams and goals that
So
we
we'll
have.
be having a dream cast 1,000 years from now about Nathan Walker, the noble.
That would be the day. But
may
yeah,
or may
no. So
not.
I don't know. I just thought it was cool. It actually made me feel really inspired.
As it should. It was a very inspiring story.
On one occasion, William crushed his helmet at a tournament in Pleux. So he was battered about quite a bit by swords and lances and whatnot, but he did do quite well in battle. He disappeared from the tournament tent afterwards, right? So there was a big get together, and there was a ceremonial blade being given away, and everyone's talking about who did the best in battle, who was the most courageous, whatever. And most of the knights, being chivalrous or whatever, kept refusing the ceremonial reward. And eventually word got around, like murmuring started that William was pretty courageous out there. So like, no, let's give it to William. But no one could find out where he was. Where's William? Where is that? Where's he at? They found him with his head on a blacksmith's bench as a blacksmith tried to pry his helmet off of him because it had been crushed so heavily. So they find him and he's like, "Oh, hey guys," and they're like, "Hey man, like we got this gift for you," and he's like, "Oh, it's so generous of you." And
They didn't have power saws back then.
no. So it took quite a bit of doing, but he humbly eventually,
That can't have been comfortable. Obviously not, but just thinking of metal, just like
No, yeah, he had a giant metal
Painful, I'm sure.
bucket smashed
Also,
against
I'm
his head.
amazed that he's still alive at this point. After everything that's been through and everything he's done, it's crazy.
Well, it just goes to show how resilient medieval armor was.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty wild. One time he captured 12 knights and 10 horses in a single day.
That's crazy.
Which is wild. He
what
had
do you even do with all those?
Ransom went back, right?
Yeah.
Well, how does one man hold 10 horses? Like, all right.
Oh, you could play like a game of real life chess, wizard's chest. Are you guys with that
From
many,
Harry Potter?
Well, yeah.
with
about
that
it?
many horses? You could play like real world chess,
Okay.
like have a actual build.
I know you're saying like a full size,
Yeah, full-scale chess.
life size.
Yeah.
No, that's what you
chessboard.
could
Why
do.
was there
with
such
it.
a long?
I'm
pause?
saying,
Well, because he said, "How do you get 10 at once?"
How do
and you
you-
said something about wizards.
you were saying
I
what
thought
could
you
be
said,
done
what
with them.
do you do
no,
with that many
He
I'm
horses?
said,
asking how could they
could you
be-
do that?
Oh, one at a time. Obviously.
It's the most obvious
fair enough,
answer.
fair enough. Continue.
One or two at a time. Yeah. no.
I yield.
Yeah.
You caught me.
Yeah.
And, all right, with me. All right, you go back and you're caught.
Now
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not
how-
seeing
As
it
It's
long,
much
a-
more.
as long as your
a
hand
game.
wasn't on, as long as your hand wasn't on goo, then you're up for grabs.
Shit.
Yeah.
What was that?
Goo.
Goo. When you play tag,
Yeah.
my hand's on goo.
I've never heard that. That might be
On ghoul?
you got lost.
Ghoul?
You got lost and your hand ended up in goo.
You guys never play tag?
I've played tag. I haven't touched
Where
goo.
you're like, is this not a thing?
TAG tag? I've never played tag with goo before. I've never heard it in my life. I thought this was something you mentioned before in chivalrous circles, something with goo. I'm like, I don't remember that. Maybe it stands for
Is
something.
it goo or ghoul? Maybe it's ghoul.
neither. I've heard of neither.
I've only played tag and it was tag, you're it.
Yeah, it's tag.
No. You guys,
Ollie all and oxen free.
you guys never had like a thing you could touch and you say, "Hey, my hand's on ghoul" or ghoul.
No.
No.
What would happen when you touch it? I'm genuinely
Yeah,
curious.
here we go. Historically, ghoul or goal is the playground game of tag. Ghoul or goal is referred to as a safe spot. So you'd have have ghoul or goal, and you'd be like, "My hand's on goal. You can't tag me."
No, never played like that.
Really?
Yeah, we were
you would all-
uncultured
you would-
swine.
You would all play, and then you'd be running around, obviously. And then if you could get to the tree before someone tagged you, you could take a breather there for a second.
I do
and
think
then-
we had like kind of like checkpoints, but I never heard it. I think it was like a safe spot or
You
or
reached your
safe-
checkpoint.
Yeah, I think
Take
we
the
would just
left
call
line.
it safe.
Yeah.
We're safe.
Safe. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
So
say
I
ghoul.
I
or-
understand.
or base.
Yeah.
Base. Oh yeah, base.
Base.
Yeah. It's definitely ghoul. I think I said goo.
Yeah,
but
and
I think that's when people
as
say
long
it
as your
fast, it
hand's
sounded
not
like
on goo. And I was like,
My hands on goo.
and then I'm thinking about the stag guy, and I'm like, where is he coming with this?
he was around here somewhere.
High concept tournament.
I found a goo. He's been around these parts. I swear to fucking God.
He's around here somewhere.
You hear it in the woods.
How do you know?
Deep in the woods.
Look.
Try to catch me.
He's been here.
I know that goo anyway.
That's like a big fucking like drool.
That's not even coconut oil. That's a semen. The stag is hard at play.
It tastes
Right out.
slightly chemical.
I
sort of salty.
Yeah.
I taste pineapple.
Ah. A culture.
Some guy's really, really interested in it. Let me get a taste of that if you say it.
Wingers. Yeah.
Wait,
If you-
real quick, you'll love this one, and it's topical for this.
Oh, okay.
My buddy,
I don't see how.
My buddy, do you remember Sobeys? The Sobe drinks?
Yeah, of course, with a little
So-
lizard on it. like,
yeah.
you know.
I used to
So-
drink those at Ghoul.
So there you go.
I was taking a little
so
breather.
I grabbed a pina
Go
colada
Sobe.
Sobe. I love any pina colada flavored thing. And
Pina
I
colada.
had my buddy try it, and he
I
took
love
a
a
sip of
vagina.
it, and he said it tastes like jizz. I remember we were probably like 16. I was just like, "Oh, so you like it?" He said, "I said it tastes like jizz." I was
so
like,
you
"So
like
you
it."
really like it?" In my mind, I'm like, "Oh, it tastes so good, it makes me jizz," something like that. And he's like, "Do you like the fucking taste of jizz?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Then why the fuck do you think that's a good thing if it tastes like jizz?" I was like, "Oh, I could see, bro."
I would have thought that you were calling me like gay or something.
That's
so
what I
like
thought.
you really like it. You
Oh,
know what
so
I
you
mean?
really like
but
it.
you were hearing, oh, it makes me jizz.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
Okay. I'm on goo.
Tastes
I'll
like
I'll never
goo.
forget that because I was like doubling down. I was like, oh, he loves it. It's like, yo, it's great.
This guy really
It's orgasmic. I thought it was like him saying it's orgasmic, not like it's
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
It's it'll make you bust a nut. I think
better
what my
than
friend's trying to
busting a-
saying is it's better than an orgasm, which is light and playful. Anyway, so what made William Marshall particularly good as a competitive knight? So he had a couple things going for him. He had a strong chin, so he was basically maxed.
Can't have been the first thing he had a strong chin.
Well, that means that he could take a
He could take a hit.
beating
Oh, I
and
thought
take
you
a
meant
hit.
in a literal sense.
No, I mean maybe, but he could take a hit.
Well, yeah, no, I mean it in a literal sense. He had a strong chin.
Is that
I don't mean like his chin cut quite the figure. I just mean like he had his. I mean, he maybe did have a great chin. I don't know how prominent it was, but I'm saying you've never heard that.
That's a boxing term. If somebody has
Yeah.
a strong chin,
yeah.
they can
I've,
take.
I've
They
heard
can
the
take a
anti-
punch.
I've heard of glass jaw. I haven't
Yes.
heard of strong
A
chin.
strong
so-
chin.
So
you can
I've
take a
heard of
punch.
the antithesis.
That's what I was
of
saying.
it.
I don't think he means physically. He actually had a pronounced chin like the crimson
the
chin.
crimson chin.
I say
It's
nay.
like, wow. Let's talk about how great he was. He had a strong chin.
First off, he had a very pronounced chin. Excellent,
that can't be the first
excellent
thing.
butt chin. Quite a clef.
He could put letters inside of it and
No,
keep
he
it there.
he was
The
basically
first
like
mailman.
in video game terms, he was like maxed out endurance wise. He could
yeah,
take, he could take a hit.
Yeah, I know that language.
So there you go. I spoke. That's
how we do it.
Yeah.
Not
he was-
Chauncey.
not Chauncey Bellin. No. So he was strong as well, and he could also deal crushing blows with a sword or lance. So he had quite a bit of endurance. He was strong. He was also an adept horseman and had sufficient tactical knowledge to outwit many of his opponents. This made for a near perfect knight. That's why he's regarded as the greatest knight to ever live by yours truly.
So cool when things just all come together like that.
Yeah. Another wild tale on William's solo journey recounts the time William had ridden to Epernay on a tall and valuable steed, which he had left in the care of a young man. Upon entering the abode of Count Theobald, a commotion was heard on the street. William ran outside just in time to see a thief taking off with his prized horse.
Ooh,
Was it an Arabian?
that's bad.
I
the
don't think-
horse. The horse.
I don't
the
think
horse.
so. No. Marshal took off after him and tracked the horse's hooves into an alley where he found the thief hiding. It was said that Marshal battered the man with a scrap of wood so hard that one of his eyes popped out.
Holy Christ! I thought I was gonna be like, I'll give you a licking.
Yeah.
He gave him something.
He took the eye and he fucking and then put it back in. He did give him a licking.
It's grotesque.
Yeah, right in the cornea.
I'll keep my eye on you. My father's eye was like this.
He took his eye and put it. He put it in backwards and was like, "You should look inwards, you fucking peasant."
It's a very painful bit.
Yeah, yeah. That's most of our bits are painful, unfortunately.
I don't think that man lived. I'm going to go out on a whim and say I don't think that man lived.
No, he probably lived. He was Blind Eye Susan.
In medieval times, if your eye was out of your face, I don't think you're going to be able to live.
His father got the eye burnt out of
But
his
that was a
face.
burn. This is like an open wound.
When the Count asked if William would like the thief hanged, Marshal refused, commenting that the wretch had suffered enough after he knocked his eye out.
I respect him for that.
So he said, that's all right. You know?
So if that means he didn't die.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe
eventually
eventually he
died.
probably did. Yeah, I don't see him coming back from that. He was. I mean, also, let's acknowledge the fact that he was bashed so hard that his eye popped out.
It wasn't
so
like he
probably
was just
suffered.
like, doink.
He probably
He plucked it out in one.
Yeah.
Well, if you hit the eye socket,
Oh yeah, you have a
He
lot of
beat the
experience with this.
ever-living fuck out of the guy. He was like, no,
bit
don't
of
bother
wood.
hanging him. He's going to end up dying
With a
anyway.
2x4. With a 2x4, you bashed him in
We
the head
just
with a
talked about how
2x4.
strong he was.
that's fair. Yeah, the guy probably didn't. At the very least, had a speech impediment.
Yeah, make no mistake. You bashed him repeatedly with a fucking 2x4.
At least I'm still living.
That man.
Tastes like cheese. He popped it back in. You better look inside yourself, mate.
I'm in immense pain.
I love Soapy too much.
Christ.
Wait a second. It does taste like
Jesus.
juice. So oddly
Should
enough,
clean that.
while, as we discussed earlier, King Henry II did not allow tournaments in England, his own son was becoming a celebrity in the tournament circuit throughout the rest of Europe. So it is
Nepotism.
notable that the young Henry's excursions were entirely bankrolled by his father at first, right? But eventually,
Cut him off.
young Henry's coffers started stacking bread, okay, because they won quite a bit. And young Henry at first he was kind of annoyed by his father. He was again, he was eager to have his own kingdom, and he was pissed off that his dad was trying to send people to spy on him. But eventually, he started to kind of thaw out, and their relationship, they became a little bit closer. But he still harbored a bit of jealousy for his two brothers, Joffrey and Richard. Richard would later be known to history as Richard the Lionheart.
Cool fucking name.
Very notable figure in English history. Very notable. He's going to come back into the story a little bit later.
As one does.
So, Joffrey and Richard were both grown men governing the territories of Brittany and Aquitaine, respectively. The king was in his 50s, entering the final phase of his life, but showing no signs of loosening his grip on royal power. This is like a Succession style thing where the dad does not want to let go.
Did you watch Succession?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Quite good. Quite good.
It's from what I've seen, it's good. Yeah. In order to persuade his father that he was ready, young Henry decided to go on crusade.
Wow.
This would make him look like, it's a holy Christian pursuit, but he would also demonstrate piety and strength. And, it's to show his dad, like, I'm a big boy. I can do big boy things. As preparations began, a vicious rumor, however, reached the prince's ears. His wife, Queen Marguerite, was being absolutely rogered by another man.
Oh, good Lord.
His close friend and trusted servant, William Marshal.
No kidding.
This is the rumor that
William Marshal porked the king's wife.
cucked the king. Okay.
That's wild. And wasn't executed.
This is a
Now.
rumor, Jesse.
Now.
This is what's coming around. Listen.
Scant evidence exists as to why this rumor persisted, but it has been proposed that several knights in Henry's service became increasingly jealous of William and wanted him out. Perhaps the manner in which Marshal relished in the newfound renown and fame was too much for the other knights.
Was he known to be womanly? Was he known to be?
No, actually, quite the opposite. He did eventually marry, and he was said to not take any mistresses and be quite faithful to his wife.
Interesting. So true nobleman.
Yeah. I didn't see
See, these guys were just jealous, obviously.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's, from what I can tell, it seems like they were very jealous.
Fair.
It is worth mentioning, though, the courtly romances that were kind of around at the time. A courtly romance is typically a story of a noble woman engaging in an affair with usually a part of the king's retinue or another nobleman, a knight. It's sort of like medieval smut is a good way to thinking about it. It was these saucy tales of because, as I alluded to, noblemen were expected to have mistresses. It was very common for kings to have mistresses. But for a woman to have illicit love affairs, it was like, whoa, that's
taboo.
Crazy, scandalous, right? So these were what courtly romances were written about.
This wasn't the one that he saved and got him out of being imprisoned, was it? It wouldn't have been that.
I'm sorry?
Wasn't there
He's
a queen?
I think the first part of the story.
Yeah.
Oh, Queen Aquitaine
You're
was
right.
the one who saved William.
And that's not the one he was rumored.
No, this is Marguerite,
No,
right?
That's
Marguerite.
right, Marguerite. That's right.
Yep. Aquitaine would have been Henry's mother.
Yeah.
Henry, young Henry's mother. Yep. She was Henry II's wife.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Something interesting about medieval sex, lovemaking. This is important too. Regular lovemaking was thought by some to be essential for the maintenance of good health. They weren't quite as prudish as many people think. Certainly not as much as actually later Victorians in the 19th century. And sexual pleasure was also encouraged, especially for women, because it was widely believed that procreation could only occur when a woman experienced an orgasm.
That's actually cool.
Interesting.
Good for them.
Yep. So bawdy entertainments were also popular. It was in William Marshall's lifetime that the humorous poems known as fabliaux came into vogue.
Oh, and he's in France too.
They typically dealt with tales of sexual conquest or misadventure, made use of toe-curlingly explicit language, and by the 1180s were all the rage in the aristocratic circles of northern France.
Interesting.
The aristocrats.
Yes, these were people who were, it basically was medieval smut. They're reading about like these kind of comically sexual, almost like think like an American Pie style,
Definitely.
sex
Gotcha.
romp. Yeah, really funny.
That's kind of cool.
I've read
It is cool,
I've read a
yeah.
couple of them and they're super funny.
Really?
Yeah, they're just goofy, silly, like ridiculous,
Yeah.
and pretty vulgar. Yeah. And it's France too, so France is a little bit more, let's say, enlightened and fun than England.
Yeah, they don't even let tournaments happen in England.
Yeah, it's fucking boring over there. They're
And
all
then
pale
France
and
is going
sad.
fucking crazy.
They're going crazy. They're just,
My eye almost popped out.
there you go. Yeah, nice.
Bless you.
We are doing les missionnaires and les doggies
Les dog.
and les cowgirl and les reverse cowgirl. The wheelbarrow, the plow,
Ooh,
Did you say the wheelbarrow?
the bottled baguette. Do you know this one? Do you know this one, the bottled baguette? It is when you coat your penis in soapy pina colada, and then you slide it betwixt the buttocks of your lover.
The bottle.
Of your lover.
The butter baguette. That was a new one that I came up with.
was good.
Tastes like cheese. So male adultery, again, commonplace, but for women, it was pretty scandalous. Ultimately, we will never know if the rumors were true, but eventually the relationship between William Marshal and young Henry began to sour, resulting in Marshal's leaving Henry's service. It is likely that Henry was not fully convinced of Marshal's impropriety since he did not met out violent retribution.
I was going to say he didn't kill him.
Yeah.
But he's just like, optics, not great.
Not great. He probably wasn't sure, but he was still hurt by the accusations, and I'm sure things got more and more awkward until they kind of just parted way.
Well, I think you probably figured too, like the only way they're going to stop if he's not in his service.
Yeah.
Like what could he possibly do
Yeah.
to make it stop? So he's like, it's probably better for both of us if
you just
we just part ways. Yeah.
Take off. Yeah.
No, man.
Yeah.
I'm just
It
picturing
is
these
sad,
two
though.
buddies just
Super
like,
sad. Yeah. In the autumn of 1182,
They had a good run.
Yes. In the autumn of, let's not interrupt when I'm starting a sentence.
Let's do that again.
Yes. In the autumn of 1182, they attended one last tournament together just north of Paris, and then William departed Henry's household. Later that year, William showed back up unexpectedly for the Christmas court.
Oh.
All eyes were on him as he walked through the great hall and bowed before the young Henry. I wish to prove my innocence through trial by combat.
Wow.
He offered to fight 3 opponents at once to the death if necessary.
Holy shit.
But the young king, unrelenting, refused, and William went into voluntary exile.
Wow.
He refused him to prove his innocence?
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
Damn.
He wouldn't budge. On to Willie's next chapter. Do I have something for that?
Oh, that was good.
Cool.
I like that.
In 1183, William Marshal was once again without a master or retinue for the first time in 15 years.
Wow.
A bidding war to acquire William's service broke out amongst noblemen in Northern Europe. However, he declined, choosing to remain a free agent. Meanwhile, the young Henry had forced his father's hand. While swearing his allegiance to both his father and the barons of Aquitaine, he had directly placed himself at odds with his brother, Richard, the aforementioned Duke of Aquitaine. Henry II tried in vain to hold his family together, but it proved to be a futile effort. He tacitly backed the young Henry, and Richard was furious. The stage was now set for a direct conflict between Henry's eldest sons. The territory of Aquitaine would be the proving ground. Now,
I'm seeing where this is going.
yes, Richard was no pushover. Let's make that very clear. He was a fierce warrior as well as a brutal and efficient military commander. He was not someone you'd want to fuck with.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna read an excerpt from the book.
Okay.
The Greatest Night.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm not gonna do it again. I don't care what you fucking say. In mid-February, King Henry II finally came south to intervene. He must have already begun summoning military forces from across Anjou and Normandy, but was as yet supported by only a small contingent of knights. The old king arrived at Limoges, intending to speak with Henry, apparently still undecided as to whose cause he would support. So at first, he's kind of going back and forth, waxing and waning between his son Henry and Richard. But as his party rode up to the makeshift citadel, arrows were suddenly loosed from within. One struck and wounded a knight standing close to the king.
Damn.
Another flew directly towards Henry II's chest.
Jeez.
At the last second, his horse reared up, and the missile struck the beast in the head. So he was this close
call.
to dying.
Holy shit.
The old king had been inches away from severe injury, quite possibly even death. In the ensuing chaos, the royal household hustled Henry II to safety, and he traveled directly to Richard's castle. At, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Aixe. How would you pronounce that? Aixe?
I bet the X and E is silent, but
Aish? Okay.
Aish.
Well, anyways, he went to Richard's castle. His choice had been made for him.
Aish,
Now,
probably.
he would now back the Lionheart. Okay. So Henry II backing Richard the Lionheart. However likely or unlikely, the suspicion of treachery was enough to cause the old king to switch sides, now bringing his force to the aids of Richard the Lionheart. So he thought maybe his son was trying to have him killed, and that's what happened. I actually read, though, that it was possibly a mistake by Allied forces who didn't know in the area what was going on.
Friendly fire.
Regardless, he's thinking, well, is my son trying to take me out? And so he ends up siding with Richard now. So he's going back and forth. Over the coming weeks, it became clear to young Henry that he was fighting a losing battle of his own making. He was hemorrhaging money, and his diplomatic entreaties were rebuffed as he oscillated between brokering peace and waging war. He's fighting two people now, his father and his brother. He was now at his lowest and most desperate, and to add insult to injury, it turned out that one of his stewards was in fact a traitor who had abruptly switched sides to join the opposition.
God damn it.
So one of his close confidants.
damn. Oh, damn.
This traitor happened to be one of William's former accusers.
Of course, motherfucker.
Now, when the despondent young Henry needed good, loyal men more now than ever, he called on William Marshal to return once more to his side.
Wow.
So he saw that this accuser happened to be a traitor and thought, maybe William didn't absolutely bugger my wife. As I suspected.
Maybe that smut wasn't true. I'll
And
have to
guess what,
burn that
y'all?
Book.
Guess what?
What?
William Marshal answered the call.
Fucking
Of course
badass.
he does.
Very loyal. Very loyal.
Oh yeah.
Incredibly.
That's what he was known for. He was known for his fierce loyalty.
He was known to do things like that, to be loyal.
Oh, good.
That's a callback to Kimbo in our intro.
He's known
Crows are known to do things like that.
They're known. It's in books. Tens of thousands of words.
Tens of thousands. Lines upon lines.
Wow, lines and lines.
2,300.
2,300. However, not long after William's arrival to back the young king, Henry became ill with something akin to dysentery. I'm going to read an excerpt.
Oh, what a way to lead into an excerpt. Something akin to dysentery. Here's an excerpt.
He was shiting day and night. He was exhausted,
It was truly
weary.
horrible.
The stench was unwieldy.
By June, however, it was clear that for young Henry there would be no recovery. No last-minute reprieve. He was dying.
No shit. I mean, well,
Yes.
sorry.
He
yes,
literally-
shit. Absolute shit.
He's dying of dysentery.
Yes.
They got him back then too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
Not just the
happened,
Oregon
I think pretty
Trail.
often back then, actually.
I'm sure they'd shit themselves to death. That day, he made a private confession to the Bishop of Cahors, prostrating himself naked on the floor before the prelate's crucifix to renounce his attempt to seize Aquitaine and to receive the ritual of Mass. 4 days later, on June 11th, Henry was at the point of death. The young king now repeated his confession in public before William and the other members of his ménage, and then received absolution for his sins and the last rites. On that final day, the man who had been destined to become King Henry III of England dictated his last testament. His body was to be buried alongside his forebears, the great dukes of Normandy in the Cathedral of Rouen. A heartfelt appeal was made to his father Henry II to deal mercifully with his mother Eleanor of Aquitaine. His wife, Queen Margaret of France, and his knights, to whom he had made many promises which he had been unable to fulfill. Turning to Marshal, his most intimate friend, Henry bid him take up the cloak upon which he had affixed his crusading cross, and begged him, quote, to carry it to the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, and with it pay my debts to God.
Wow.
And that his face became sallow, waned, and livid. The young king's dying moments became a tableau of penitence. A hair shirt, I don't know what the fuck that is, a hair shirt was placed on his emaciated body, a noose around his withered neck. With this rope he was dragged from his bed and laid onto the ash-strewn floor, with large stone blocks placed beneath his head and feet. Clutching the old king's ring of peace to his chest, he fell unconscious and died soon thereafter. The sudden passing of the young king left William and the others in utter disbelief. The old king, too, was said to have been grief-stricken, throwing himself to the ground, prostrating as his wails of anguish ran all throughout the castle.
Jeez.
Damn.
The beautiful young king had wasted away during a meaningless struggle with his own kin. A great flower of chivalry had been pruned and discarded.
That's so sad.
Yeah. In the mind's eye of many locals, he was the perfect ethereal, regal figure, despite only ever serving as regent. So to the people, you know, he never became king. He never imposed taxes on them. He never had to make any tough calls. He never affected their lives in a negative way. So they just had these flowery illusions of maybe what he could have been as a king.
Of course.
So he remained as this sort of legendary, benevolent mythical figure in their minds.
Yeah.
With Henry's untimely demise, William now sought to honor his memory by journeying to the Holy Land. This pilgrimage would put his career on hold while taking Marshal 2,000 miles away from home.
Crazy.
Now, no real record remains of his voyage east, but it is likely he sailed to Palestine with his esquire, Eustace.
Eustace
Bags! Yeah! But when creepy stuff happens and there's no way out.
Nowhere.
With a cross sewn onto his clothing, he was able to travel through Christian land unmolested.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So, an excerpt from The Greatest Night by Thomas Asbridge. I think this is beautifully put. William's first priority was to complete his pilgrimage to Jerusalem and fulfill his promise to young Henry. That brought him inland through the Judean hills to the holy city itself, a great walled metropolis and the epicenter of the Christian faith. Marshal's ultimate destination was the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, believed to have been built on the site of Jesus Christ's death and his resurrection. For William, like all medieval Latin Christians, this was the most sacred space on earth. It was here that the first Crusaders had come on July 15th, 1099, fresh from massacring Jerusalem's Muslim population.
Of course.
To give thanks to their God for victory, they went to the Holy Sepulchre. Exactly 50 years later, to the day, a grand reconstruction program initiated by King Fulk, which is Henry II's grandfather, and his half-Armenian wife, Queen Melisande, had been completed. It was this magnificent structure with a spectacular domed rotunda enclosing the supposed site of Christ's tomb that Marshal entered, finally discharging his duty to the young king. So he traveled 2,000 miles to fulfill the promise.
God damn, this guy's a fucking badass.
He is an honorable
like
man.
literally just whatever is asked of him immediately. Just
Well,
like, yep.
he's also
Does
like,
it.
I
does
mean,
what he says.
obviously one matures over time, but it's just like hearing how like bravado he was when he was younger.
How
And
much
just
bravado he
how
had.
much, yeah. And just hearing now he's just like a lawyer. Like he went into voluntary exile. He said he would have proven his innocence, through any means necessary, a fight to the death if it meant that.
Yes.
I don't know. I really dig how genuinely noble he's becoming instead of just brutishly like a knight.
Well, you can tell how much he meant to him too.
Yeah.
How much Henry meant to him.
Oh, they were best friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. That's
Like you said, going
profound. It
to,
is.
to all ends to prove his innocence.
Yeah.
After humbly, I'm sure, stepping down.
Right.
Henry saying, "I think it's best if we part ways," and he probably was like, "Whatever you want." You know what I mean? Whatever you like. And then after a while, he probably was kept up for nights thinking about this.
I'm sure.
The
yeah.
fact that he might think something negative of him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was literally willing to fight to the death to prove otherwise.
Literally, 3 people at once is fucking crazy.
Yeah, wild. Yeah, he even offered to cut one of his fingers off on his right hand.
Really?
Jeez,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
God
Some
damn.
Yakuza shit.
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show that he was at his core a very good man. Because he could have, if he wasn't, he could have been a great fighter and wielded a lot of power, but done tremendously awful things and been
Exactly.
devious and terrible. But that's not who he was. So after he fulfilled his promise to the young king, he would spend 2 years adventuring throughout the Holy Land. This period of his life, however, is totally shrouded in mystery. We don't know what happened. The history
Really?
It's a sabbatical.
the biography does not recount exactly what happened.
Interesting.
What we do know is that Marshal returned from the Holy Land in 1186 AD and presented himself before Henry II in Normandy. The moment must have had some gravity. Obviously, he had served his son. He brought up his son. They both had a great fondness and affection for the boy, despite his father, waging war against him.
Right.
And I'm sure to see William after his son's death that many years later would have been a very emotional moment.
Sure.
It would have been like, I'm sure, having a piece of his son back in a way.
Yeah.
So William was appointed to the royal household and brought into the extravagant Angevin court once again, now in his 40s. So Henry II took him back. Due to the size of Henry's kingdom, the court was constantly traveling throughout the realm, kind of like
I was
circus.
genuinely just going to ask: is he back in London now? Is he in France?
They're all over the place.
Yeah,
Henry's
wow.
Henry's a little bit older at this point, but he's having having to show face all around the kingdom. There was even a jester known as Roland the Farter, who could jump in the air, do a somersault, whistle, and fart all at the same time.
Wow.
And he was revered as like a
Incredible. He was. It's the best you're going to get from a jester.
he was quite the
revered.
entertainer.
Oh man, his funeral must have been.
he was beloved. So while he's traveling with Henry's court, it became quickly apparent to William that the politics of everything could be like a viper's nest of gossip and deceit. Of
course.
That, if not carefully navigated, could result in ruination. Everyone vied for the king's attention, and William would have to kind of play the game of politics while he was there.
Naturally.
Sadly.
Yes. I would think that due to William's general demeanor of just kind of being steadfast, loyal,
Yes.
and strong, he probably... I think he had like a gravity to him, or like a magnetic pull. Like probably the king, especially knowing that he was so close to his son, wanted him around anyways.
Yeah.
But so he would have to... I would imagine it would be kind of sickening watching all these people kind of try and paw at the king and get his attention, and then they're just like, all right,
Yeah, he probably felt like he had to tolerate all this stuff.
Yes.
He was like, he's like, all this bullshit.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sure he wanted to like bash people's heads in, and he was just like, all right, well, I gotta.
Yeah, seeing all the disingenuous people when he's literally a beacon of loyalty would be
Exactly.
very, very
I mean,
tough
think
to
about
just,
the
like,
lengths
stomach.
that he's gone to show his
show-
loyalty.
yeah, and seeing-
then these people are just like self-interested, probably exploitive.
A lot of tongue biting.
Yes, I would imagine so. Absolutely. During this time, the king gave William the large royal estate of Cartmel in Cumbria. Cumbria, In 1188, faced with an attempt by Philip II of Normandy to seize the disputed region of Berry, Henry summoned William to his side. The letter by which he did this survives and makes some sarcastic comments about William's complaints that he had not been properly rewarded to the state for his service to the king.
Wow.
So he's kind of giving him little jabs. Henry's like, hey, listen, I'll give you marriage, I'll give you lands, whatever. Just come help me out. In the resulting campaign, the king fell out with his heir, Richard, Count of Ponthieu, who consequently allied with Philip II. So Richard is going to take the side of this French king to fight his father now. So Henry,
Richard kind of sucks.
He's very much a calculated.
Yeah, he's
cold
an
person.
opportunist,
Lion-hearted
right?
means,
Opportunistic.
means courageous, right?
He's not one to run from battle. He's very courageous, but he will take advantage. He's very opportunistic, as Xander
Very
said.
self-interested.
Yes.
He's like, what can I get out of
That
this?
was not uncommon back then, especially when vying for
Yeah,
when you're
fair.
talking about royal succession. People were fucking brutal, man. They would kill entire
Families
lines of
fought
people.
each other all the time.
All the time.
In this time.
Yeah,
all the time.
fighting each other, that's one thing, but aligning oneself with a completely different family,
fighting
just
each
to
other
fight
is
your own.
actually the same thing in this time period. Everybody has different allegiances to different areas, and they see their
Fair.
self-interest
Fair,
in what they
but-
can get out of that.
But like a prince rising up to fight a king and like having his own people versus, I'm going to side with this king as a prince to get my own father. That just seems like an extra step.
I mean,
too far.
you're right. You're definitely not wrong. It's just
I
it's
know,
it's
it's
crazy
wild,
shit.
Well, think about every time that they had to go to battle, you would have to raise funds for warriors, right? Like in order to keep them basically as part of your attachment. So siding with a king who already had lands and property might be the only way that you could raise arms against someone to fight for you. So just like the young Henry, the deceased young Henry, Richard was a restless heir. He wanted at the throne. So in 1189, while covering the flight of Henry from Le Mans to Chinon, William unhorsed Richard in a skirmish.
No shit.
Okay, let me describe what happened. This is
Hell yeah.
This is one of my favorite moments in his entire biography, right here.
Really?
Yes.
All right. I'm locked in.
So this is an excerpt from the book. Only the history of William Marshal described this encounter in close terms, though the broad details of his account were confirmed in other contemporary sources. One thing seems certain. This was to be no fair fight. So intent had Richard been upon hunting down his father that he had begun his chase wearing only a doublet and light helm. This added speed to his pursuit, but left him dreadfully exposed to attack. Worse still, the Lionheart was armed with only a sword. Marshal, by contrast, had a shield and lance. The biographer describes how, quote, William spurred straight on to meet the advancing Duke Richard. When the Duke saw him coming, he shouted at the top of his voice, God's legs, Marshal, don't kill me. That would be a wicked thing to do, since you find me here completely unarmed. In that instant, Marshal could have slain Richard, skewering his body with the same lethal force that dispatched his uncle Patrick of Salisbury. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Had there been more than a split second to ponder the choice, William might perhaps have reacted differently. As it was, instinct took over, right? Marshal simply could not bring himself to kill an unarmored opponent, let alone the heir apparent to the Angevin realm. King Henry II's eldest surviving son, instead, he was said to have shouted in reply, Indeed I won't. Let the devil kill you. I shall not be the one to do it. And at the last moment, lowering his lance frantically, he drove it into Richard's mount. With that, the horse died instantly. It never took another step forward, and as it fell, the Lionheart was thrown to the ground, and his pursuit of the king came to an end.
God damn.
Yep.
Badass.
Yeah. So King Henry II was able to make an escape, but his will, his body were crushed. He just was getting old. He was
like, I'm too
fighting
old for
a
this
battle with
shit.
his second,
Yeah.
his second son. He's like, this is too much. So soon after, many loyalists began to abandon the broken king.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He was like broken to the point that he was just aloof to the kingdom kind of thing.
Yeah, he was too fucked up. Your boy
he's
was
old. He's probably doesn't have as much money as he once did.
No, he probably, if anything, I feel like his money is probably what he still has the most of.
So on July 6, 1189, King Henry II's body finally succumbed and he died. The household staff looted his corpse and disappeared.
Jesus.
You see what I'm saying, dude? What the fuck?
Marshal rushed to the chamber and covered the body with a cloak, standing guard until Henry could be buried. He wouldn't abandon Henry II even in death, when others were quite clearly
This guy's amazing.
disinterested. 4 days later, Richard arrived at Fontevraud Abbey for his coronation.
Oh, he still gets. Yeah, that's
Richard walked down the loud, echoing hall of the abbey to his father's casket and stood coldly over his father's body. He had, in a very real sense, harassed the old king to death.
Mm-hmm.
Richard turned from the body, beckoning William Marshal over. He knelt in front of the new king, and Richard said, "Marshal, the other day you intended to kill me, and no doubt would have, had I not deflected your lance with my arm." William's head was bowed in silent meditation. He looked up and said, "It was never my intention to kill you. I am still strong enough to direct my lance, and had I wanted, I could have driven it straight through your body, just as I did that horse of yours." A hush came over the crowd. Richard responded, "Marshal, you are forgiven. I shall never be angry with you over that matter again."
God damn.
He was welcomed at court by Richard, apparently recognizing that William's loyalty and military accomplishments were too useful to ignore, especially for a king who was intending to go on crusade.
God damn, dude.
This would be the third king
Yeah.
that William would serve.
Jesus.
I just got goosebumps.
I literally right now.
It's wild. So,
Dude.
this guy's like, yeah,
Fucking badass,
incredible.
man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was honest. He's honest to a fault, and I think that
Oh, 100%.
I was fully expecting him to like kind of not save face because I was like, oh, he would do Richard the honor at his own coronation to kind of like go with his story, but to
Yeah.
actually immediately refute it just like that.
No, he's going to tell the truth no matter what,
Wow.
even if it's in the face of death. He's staring down the new king.
You know, he's also still
Honest.
loyal to
Yeah.
Henry, even though he's dead.
Yep.
He's sitting right there.
He's like, "You're right. I did kill your horse to defend my king, but I surely could have killed you.
Like, you don't think I
chose not
could
to."
have?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
come on, bro.
Exactly. And Richard the Lionheart relented.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Wow. That's
pretty wild.
exactly that's what I was thinking. I was like, he's
God
considered
damn,
the
dude.
Lionheart compared to William is wild.
Crazy. So during Henry's last days, he had promised William the hand and estates of Isabel de Clare, but had not completed the arrangements. King Richard, however, confirmed the offer, and so in August 1189, William and Isabel married. The marriage transformed the landless knight from a minor family into one of the richest men in the kingdom.
Damn.
A sign of his power and prestige at court. He now had a full-scale baronial household of his own.
Wow.
Yep. So remember we were talking about households before? He's got William Marshall's got
You
his
don't
own.
know exactly how many people are in it, but he has one.
Couldn't fucking tell you.
How many people are in this house?
Oh Lord. So
Jeez.
in this time of prosperity, the couple had 5 sons and 5 daughters.
Wow. 10
Wait.
kids.
Yeah, 10 kids. Pretty common back then. to
This
have
is
lots
William's
and lots of
kids?
kids. Yep. William and his wife.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
In addition to this, the couple seemed to harbor a genuine affection for one another, and it is even said that William refused to take a mistress. Seemed like he loved his wife.
It's beautiful.
Just something.
Well, I mean,
May-
he loved
may-
his wife at least 10 times.
God damn.
That was good.
Yeah, I think he really liked her.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. William was included in the Council of Regency, which Richard appointed on his departure for the Third Crusade in 1190. So Richard's like, I'm going to go on crusade. William, you stay behind. You be part of my regency. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, William would serve alongside John, the king's brother. But he soon discovered that the interests of John were different than those of Richard. So while the cat is away, the mice will play.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
His brother was a mouse.
His brother was a little bit of a fucking little wrote a rat, more like a rat. While Richard waged war against Saladin in the Holy Land, which is an insane story by itself, John had designs to claim England for himself.
Oh, my God, you bitch.
So in 1193, William joined with the Loyalists who were backing Richard and holding down the fort.
Of course.
And fought John to secure Richard's claim while the king was away. John actually joined forces with Philip II again. Remember,
Dude.
Richard was joining Philip II. Now,
Philip II just
Philip
thinks his
II
family
is just constantly. Yeah, he's like, they are so fucked up. I did not know.
He's like,
Who's gonna kill
I'll
this
play
motherfucker?
any one of them.
Anybody in England want to do a call with me? I don't really know.
It is like real housewives over there. It's a shit show.
They keep coming to me.
Dysfunctional. They are dysfunctional. It is really sad, honestly.
Oh,
but-
Johnny, come talk to me.
I fought with your brother Richard against your father.
Do that again,
anyways,
please.
so John joined forces with Philip II. Again, this Frenchman's knocking on their door.
God damn, he's a piece of
Just
shit.
knocking. Fighting broke out in England between forces loyal to Richard and those being gathered by John. John's military position was weak, and he eventually agreed to a truce.
Oh, no shit.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's just a little bitch.
What a bitch.
Fun fact, Robin Hood takes place during this period of Richard's absence.
Interesting.
Yep. John is the villain in Robin Hood,
God damn.
and Richard the Lionheart is away crusading. So if you ever read that again,
That explains so much.
pretty
Wow.
cool. Connects it all together.
Yeah.
Connect the dots.
Yeah.
In early 1194, the king, Richard the Lionheart, finally returned to England and John's remaining forces surrendered.
Wow.
John retreated to Normandy, where Richard finally found him later that year. Richard declared that John, despite being 27 years old, was merely, quote, a child who had had evil counselors, and he forgave him, but removed his lands with the exception of Ireland. So this is twice he's forgiven someone. So considering how brutal Richard could be and how treacherous he could be
He's
to his
growing.
enemies, he seemed to also possess the capacity for clemency
Right.
when it called for it.
That's interesting.
Yes. So a bit of a contradiction. William served Richard in his wars in Normandy against Philip II. So William's out there on the front lines again,
Of course.
not dying, surviving this
Amazing.
every battle.
Yeah.
On Richard's deathbed, he designated William as custodian of Rouen and the royal treasure during the interim period between when the power was being transferred from Richard's death to John. So he said, "You can look over the royal treasury. That's how
Wow.
much I trust you."
I mean, he's proved it.
would,
If
yeah.
there's anybody,
I mean, yeah,
he
100%.
served the family for fucking.
He's
God,
been in
dude.
this same family serving them. So now that brings in King John.
Oh, now
okay?
he has. Now
this
he's
is
king.
the fourth king he's now serving.
Goodness.
So King John.
God, what fuckery did he get up to?
William supported John out of sheer necessity.
Of course,
when he
he's
became,
loyal.
Yes, when he became king in 1199 at 30 years old. There
It
was
just got progressively worse.
Yes.
It just went Richard, the John. Oh.
yeah. So there was a bit of a succession struggle, but William was sort of being tactful, and he was like, well, John probably has the best. The person who was supposed to succeed the throne was actually a young boy. And William was like, that's not going to work out. This is going to be bad. You know,
I mean,
like,
that's the right judgment.
Why? Oh, because John was the brother,
John-
not Richard's son.
correct.
I got you.
Correct.
Okay,
So he
that
was
makes
not
sense.
the direct
I
heir.
wasn't the direct
but
heir.
John was older and smart enough to outmaneuver a child. So
he was the
William
heir
saw
apparent?
William
Hey,
saw
what's
that
2 plus 2, fuckhead? I think it's an orange.
I think I should have the throne.
wrong dweeb gives him a fucking wedgie.
I'll take the crown now, fuckface.
William's like, okay, I understand. I get it. Take
He's
the
over there
throne.
like, I did see this coming. This is not great. Something a little bit of a description about King John. John was a corpulent, red-faced man who had spent a lifetime gorging himself on wine and rich food.
Oh God.
Like a King Herod kind of thing.
Yeah. He is widely considered to have been a cruel and controversial king. In fact, John's infamy was so great that no other English monarch would bear his name
Wow.
ever again.
Wow.
That's bad.
Yeah. He was a paranoid man, which makes sense given his own treacherous ways, and he often failed to inspire confidence through his leadership. So not an effective leader.
No.
So William sailed with John when he abandoned the Duchy of Normandy in December 1203. William and John had a falling out in the aftermath of the loss of Normandy when he was sent with the Earl of Leicester as ambassadors to negotiate a truce with King Philip in 1204. William took the opportunity to negotiate the continued possession of his Norman lands. When William paid homage to Philip, John took offense, and there was a major row at court, which led to cool relations between the two men. I mean, William was probably figuring like, well, if you're fucking sucking up to this guy and everyone in your family's sucking up to him, let me just at least save some of my lands in Normandy.
Of course.
So amidst this fall from royal favor, William began planning an expedition to Leinster, which he had previously only briefly visited. Leinster was in Ireland. In Ireland, William became involved in a conflict between the Anglo-Irish barons and John's justiciar. John's justiciar in Ireland was Mael Fitzhen.
Oh, it's Gaelic words.
Mael Fitzhen. I'm just going to call him Hen.
Honestly, thank you.
Jesus Christ. So William was actually able to defeat Hen and his men. So William kicks Hen's ass, and he's eventually taken back into favor by John in 1212. There's stuff that happens in here, some details and stuff that I didn't feel pertinent to mention.
Naturally.
So eventually he's taken back into favor by John in 1212, and he was summoned in 1213 to return to the English court. By 1215, the royal coffers were all but empty, and John's reputation was in tatters. So while William was away in Ireland, the king was properly mucking things up.
God damn it.
Don't muck it up.
Don't muck it up. Here's an excerpt from the book. In the aftermath of the Battle of Bouvines, a tide of rebellious unrest swept across the Kingdom of England. An increasingly vocal and cohesive party of discontented barons began to call for concessions from the crown, and through the autumn of 1214, their demands became more coherent, even as their ranks swelled beyond the core of northern magnates to include many major landholders from the south of England. So this is a pretty big uprising.
God damn it.
King John was too weak to simply ignore or overthrow the emerging baronial faction. The ranks of his steadfast supporters diminished with each passing month.
Why did he have steadfast supporters?
I mean, why does Trump have steadfast supporters?
Yeah.
There you go. So anyways, the ranks of his steadfast supporters diminished with each month as the nascent rebellion gathered momentum. William Marshal remained loyal, as did John's half-brother, William Longsword, after he had been ransomed from the French. Anyways, so as both sides readied themselves for civil war, attempts to broker a settlement began in January 1215. William Marshal, of course, as always, found himself at the heart of these convoluted negotiations between the king and his nobles. So he's like stuck in the middle.
Jesus.
Like, fucking A, this just keeps happening. I guess I'm just really good at pretty much diplomacy.
All the nobles
mostly
are like,
cutting people's heads
William,
off.
you know he sucks.
I'm good at that. I could bash their brains in. I could bash their fucking brains in. I could take them one by one. I could bend them over, spank them,
could set the
lance them
castle
up the
on fire.
arse. Lance them up the arse, carry them on by my horse's bridle, and ransom them. But perhaps first I should try a peace treaty.
Some diplomacy.
Perhaps.
Perhaps I'll try it out just this once. So, despite their differences, William remained loyal through the hostilities between John and his barons, right, which culminated in June 15th, 1215, at Runnymede with the sealing of, tell me if you've heard of this, the Magna Carta.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The Magna Carta was created in June 1215 to limit the despotic power of England's King John, who was exploiting feudal customs, demanding excessive taxes to fund failed foreign wars, and does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Exploiting feudal customs, so he's kind of flying in the face of their customs.
Right.
He's demanding excessive taxes to pay for failed foreign wars, and ignoring the traditional legal rights of his barons, facing a potential rebellion. The king is forced to sign the Magna Carta, the first Magna Carta. And just so everyone's clear, okay, John's mismanagement and tyranny is the reason that the most important document of English democracy was created. This was all in order to limit the power of a king.
Right. Which is important to have.
Yeah, very important to have.
Limitations.
So John botched it so much that
What
the
a
Magna
piece of
Carta,
shit.
the original Magna Carta, was signed.
I bet he thought himself to be very clever too.
I don't know how he would convince himself of that, but maybe he was delusional enough.
Well, think about when he teamed up with Felipe while Richard was away. He
Yeah.
probably thought, he's like, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Fucking failure.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
He had these grand designs. He just couldn't execute.
It's totally fine if you don't. Do you have like a age range of John's reign? Like I know he was 27 when he was first like said that it was just he had evil counsel or whatever. But what was his age range?
He was He was 30 when he first succeeded to the throne.
And when was the Magna Carta? Like what age was he? How long had his reign of terror, so to speak, been going on before they were like, okay, enough's enough?
So John became king in 1199, and then the Magna Carta was signed in 1215.
Wow,
So,
16 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah.
So not
Too
great.
much time.
Not great. Not great.
Not good. So at 67 years old, William played a leading role in the negotiations that led to the agreement of Magna Carta.
Wow.
So William is involved in the fucking Magna Carta. His name appears first among all the lay lords named in the document as John's advisors.
So sick.
Wow.
Miraculous, this man. William was one of the few English earls to remain loyal to the king through the First Barons' War. It was William whom John trusted on his deathbed to make sure John's 9-year-old son, Henry, would succeed safely to the throne. That would be Henry III, the 5th king that William would serve in his lifetime.
Amazing.
So who served as the king in between John's deathbed and him coming of age?
So William was the king regent.
Oh,
He guided
shit.
it. Yes. So now he is effectively the king of England.
Wow.
So William took responsibility for John's funeral and burial at the Worcester Cathedral, Worcester in England, obviously. And then
That would have been fun.
I have actually the inverted shield of William Marshal. I'll put up on the screen. It's pretty cool. It's a lion, a red lion upside down with a green and white little like
He
division.
deserves like to be able to King's Regent at that point.
Yeah, he's been through a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
On November 11th, 1216, at Gloucester, upon the death of King John, William was named by the King's Council to serve as protector of Henry and regent of the kingdom, which meant he effectively ruled England, securing the realm and pushing back French incursion. In spite of his advanced age around 70, he prosecuted the war against Prince Louis and the rebel barons with remarkable energy. So now there is still barons who are revolting at this point, right? Now, we're nearing the end. I'm going to read another excerpt, probably my last excerpt from the book. Again, this is The Greatest Night by Thomas Asbridge. In the late spring of 1217, it fell to William Marshal, some 70 years old at this point, to fight for King Henry III's right to rule England. This is a boy. He's fighting for a boy. The Earl understood that only a clear-cut victory against the French would cement the young monarch's legitimacy and snuff out the baronial rebellion. These barons at this point had gathered French assistance, right? Because they have interests in the realm. They want to take over England.
Yeah.
So William is having, at 70 years old, he's been steering the kingdom, and he has to go back and fight for one last battle.
Jesus.
Suddenly in May, a slim chance presented itself. Prince Louis was determined to sweep up the remaining pockets of royalist resistance in eastern England before driving westwards. With this objective in mind, he divided his army into two, leading a force to besiege Dover Castle on May 12th, while a second contingent was sent north. The Anglo-French host contained many prominent rebels, including Robert Fitzwalter and Sayer of Quincy, along with more than 500 English knights and around 70 Capetian knights alongside a large detachment of infantry, under the French commander Count Thomas of Perche. Together, these allies marched north to the walled town of Lincoln, a royalist stronghold that had already endured a long siege at the hands of the northern rebels and a sizable party of Capetian troops. Lincoln's outer battlements had fallen, but Lady Nicola de Hay retained control of its heavily fortified castle. The Anglo-French army now intended to bludgeon her garrison into submission. The renewed assault on Lincoln posed a grave threat, but William Marshal also saw it as an opportunity to confront and hopefully defeat the Allies when their army was not at full strength.
Wow.
Assembling every ounce of fighting manpower, William mustered the royalist forces of Newark to the site of King John's death, 25 miles southwest of Lincoln. Troops started to arrive on May 17th, and a number of contemporary sources offer quite precise estimates of their numbers. The biographer claimed to have access to an array of written sources at this point, so it was quite possible that he was working from an official muster list of soldiers.
Wow.
The Royalist army appears to have been made up of 406 knights, 317 crossbowmen, and a large mixed force of followers, some of whom were non-combatant supporters and servants. Earl William held overall command, but other leading figures were also present. William rushed into battle to secure the fort. Now, while issuing one last charge into the fray of battle, the grizzled warrior, although now in a much older body, was undoubtedly transported back to 1166, where with youthful exuberance, he went into his first battle as a young man, his first battle of a career spanning 51 years.
Wow.
And I'm sure that as he ran into battle, he had the same gleeful smile on his face. It has been something that he did his entire life, and it would be something he did until the day he died. In the Battle of Lincoln, like many before, William charged and fought at the head of the army, leading them to victory. William was criticized, actually, for his generosity of the terms he accorded to Louis on September 12, 17. But his expedient settlement was dictated by sound statesmanship and a desire to remove the French from England as quickly as possible. So he was very gracious to King Louis. He said, "Get the fuck out of here. I don't want you here."
This.
You know,
Gone.
he's like 70 years old. He's like, "I'm old. I'm tired." You know, the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. Yeah. So he compromised. They signed a peace treaty, and William was able to help secure stability for Henry III.
70 years old.
Yep.
Fucking still fought in
70
battle.
years old
insane.
in the like 1200s.
Won the battle.
Yep.
Won the battle.
Led them to victory. Yep.
and was able
Dude,
to still
what the
be
fuck?
diplomatic. And that's wild. I'm thinking of like
Imagine them fighting on his side, like the fucking tales you would tell your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
70 years old, he led us to battle. Like,
It makes you want to live
For-
a
yeah.
full life.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? You know?
Yeah.
for real.
God damn, that's fucking cool.
Badass.
Ser- the
Absolute
definition,
legend.
man.
Absolute mad
I wonder,
lad.
like,
Yeah.
you know, we're saying like exact dates. It's one thing's like talking about Middle Ages and medieval times and having years be the
Dark
general
Ages,
sense.
you don't really
But
know.
It's like June blank in this year.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, them waking up that day and being like, "This is going to be a historic day."
Yeah.
In history, like how much they realized how important.
Yeah, that's
the
a good
things they were
point.
doing.
I think that they probably had perhaps a better sense of it than we do now because they led their lives in such a way to attain glory. They read, you know, these like chivalric
Yeah,
tales,
true,
and
true.
so they probably were quite aware of like this could bring glory to us.
especially like the day of the Magna Carta. Like it's like this
Yeah.
is going to go down in history. This is going to change things for centuries.
You know, that's why I as I've gotten older have tried not to take for granted even small events that happen around me, like weddings and things, because the way that you conduct yourself in those moments, those are forged memories going forward.
right.
You're going to look
Yep.
back on that and say, that's what
Yep.
I said in that moment. That's
Yeah.
the counsel I gave, whether it was wise, that's how I conducted myself. And I think that that's important. And the older you get, the more you realize that like
Yeah.
those are the things you take with you, or those
Yeah.
memories, right?
You have but one life.
That's right.
Very
So-
important.
Concerning William Marshall's one life, he was the first Earl of Pembroke at this point. He had enjoyed a robust health throughout his entire life up to this point. He began to be plagued by illness and pain in early 1219. By March of 1219, he realized that he was dying. So he summoned his eldest son, William, and his household knights, and left the Tower of London for his estate at Caversham, where he called a meeting of the barons. Fulfilling the vow he made while on crusade, he invested into the Order of the Knights Templar on his deathbed. Again, fulfilling vows to the very end.
Wow.
That was this guy's whole thing. Honorable. He died peacefully on May 14th, 1219 at Caversham, surrounded by his friends and family. Here's an excerpt about that. I've lied about having one last excerpt. The Earl, who was generous, gentle, and kind towards his wife, the Countess, said to her, "Fair lady, kiss me now, for you will never be able to do it again." She stepped forward and kissed him, and both of them wept. His daughters, who were also present, were said to have stood round him in deep grief and eventually had to be ushered outside. Once the ritual of last rites was complete, Amory apparently offered William some parting words of comfort, saying, quote, "You have known higher honor in this world than ever any other knight had, both in respect of your valor and your wisdom and loyalty." He then went on to assure the Earl that God wishes to have you for his own. The end came near midday on Tuesday, May 14th, 1219. John of Early had been trying to ease Marshal's position in his bed because he was uncomfortable. When in the final throes of death, against which he had no defense, took him in their grip, William implored Early to open the doors and windows of his room and call his family. Young William, Isabel, and Marshal's knights arrived, and the Earl spoke his last words, saying, quote, "I am dying, and commend you to God. I am no longer able to think of your needs, for I cannot fight against death." A cross was brought to the bed and placed before the Earl, and then, as the abbot of Notley performed the final rite of absolution, William Marshal set his eyes upon the crucifix, joined his hands together, and died, surrounded by his family. Following William's death, his family commissioned a biography, The History of William Marshal, which was completed in 1226 and was one of the main sources for this podcast.
Wow.
The biography's rediscovery by French historian Paul Mayer in 1881 allowed for a detailed reconstruction of William's life, who had previously been a shadowy figure in Anglo-Norman history. So if not for this French guy discovering his biography,
No way.
we maybe would have never known about William Marshal.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, he was until that point kind of like a mysterious figure in Anglo-Norman history.
Do you have any context as to where he discovered the biography?
I don't. I do not, unfortunately.
That's all good. We've had a lot of other answers.
It's so cool.
This is a cool bit of recent history.
Oh.
A statue of Marshal on horseback was unveiled in front of Pembroke Castle in 2022.
Oh, no kidding.
It was created by Harriet Addyman and followed a campaign by Pembroke and Moncton Local History Society.
That's cool.
The statue is there to this day. He is buried, William's body is buried in the Temple Church in London, where his tomb can still be seen to this day.
God,
I would like to go there at some point. That would be cool.
I've seen his body. I
you?
didn't know that I
realize
saw
it?
his body at the
It's
time.
possible
shit.
that
We
I
went
did
to
too.
London and I saw his body, and I was probably just like, because I remember seeing the casket. It's like a stone relief
Yeah.
over his grave, and I at the time didn't think anything of it. I didn't know anything about him, but now I know all about him, and it's pretty
that's cool.
miraculous. Yeah.
Crazy.
So that is the story of William Marshal, first Earl of Pembroke, the greatest knight to ever live.
Told you it was
To the
gonna be
very
good.
end, he was badass. Even when he
Yeah.
died, it was badass.
Hell yeah, fucking metal, dude. Absolutely.
I'm so glad that he got a peaceful death.
Yes,
too,
me
me
too.
too.
Like,
Me too.
Isn't that wild? After
Yeah.
all that,
After
all
all
that
that.
fighting, he died peacefully in his bed.
Yeah,
at
that's
72.
cool.
At 72 in the Middle Ages.
That's
Surrounded by his family.
Yep.
surrounded by his
Like,
family
just
and got
couldn't
to
have been
tell
better.
his family his last words.
Literally. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And
and
I
have it
think
documented.
it's badass
Centuries.
that he said, "I can't fight death," as
Yeah.
if to imply like I would if I could.
If I could.
but I can't
yeah.
anymore.
It's the only thing I can't.
yeah,
Yeah.
The only thing that I can't fight.
just a bruiser. Absolute
Oh, truly.
bruiser, man.
Yeah.
So, guys, did you enjoy that
Oh, man. This one was
journey?
awesome.
that was
This
awesome.
one
That was really cool.
Really, really
I was
great.
That
getting-
was a journey.
I was getting emotional
Yeah.
doing the research. I'm like, this is
Yeah, I mean,
miraculous.
He's truly a noble man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
absolutely.
I could understand being emotional.
In a
with
world
that.
full of scoundrels.
Yeah.
and it really
and
surrounded.
was a beacon of what it is to be a good man. To
be
a
chivalric.
good human, but a good man in the time of bad men.
And this was a man, by the way, who started life as a 5-year-old boy who was
Right.
the captive of a king,
Right.
who was almost
Wow.
killed on several occasions, and he still. It just goes to
Persevered.
show that there is a light out there for people. So don't ever give up hope wherever there is strife. It doesn't matter what time period, whether it's the Dark Ages or now.
Yeah.
There will be people out there who are bearers of light, who will fight for justice and do what's right always. So I think that's an important message.
So he did have
I
some
agree.
luck, considering he'd have
Definitely was lucky. I don't know if he was luckier than you, but he was definitely lucky.
yeah.
Okay, so Jesse, tell us the next episode. What are we going to be covering in the next episode? Or pretty much,
It's going to be focused primarily on the Green Knight, but also a little bit of focus on the Gawain I haven't figured out how to pronounce his name. I will.
I trust that you will by the time of the
Gawain,
podcast.
poet who is unknown but is a fascinating figure in literature around that time in of itself. And,
Cool.
And
Very
other
cool.
stories that he's created, or she, probably he. But
Gotcha.
but
So
yeah,
we're gonna be
that
talking
they
about
created.
the knight Gawain, who was part of King Arthur's royal court, the Knights of the Round Table, and we're gonna be talking about the Green Knight, the A24 film. And Jesse's gonna be breaking all that down and more. So join us next time on Pretty Much Yeah. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you guys.
Have to say pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I came around and said that.
There you go. You did.
Please like, share, subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone,
guys.
and peace out.
Later.